So
How are
much
you
better.
doing, Tyler? How are you today?
Doing good. How was your weekend?
And my weekend was good. I've been looking at the same four walls, just like everyone else.
You
But
and
I've
I
also
both.
been doing a lot of sheet masks, and your skin is glowing. So I have to
Oh,
start this off a little rogue and just say, what's the secret?
lots of sweat.
Okay. Okay, that'll do it. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Access at Home today. Now, as you guys know, you're here, you're chiming in with your comments and questions. Keep them coming. Tyler Henry, of course, the star of E! Entertainment's Hollywood Medium. He has a lot of exciting things going on right now, including a live tour. So before we dig into the Q&A a little bit, talk to us about the tour and what you've got going on.
Yeah, well, I've done a 36-city tour planned and basically traveled the country sharing a lot of the life lessons that I've learned from my work and doing readings. It's a really interactive event. Obviously, with all of the current going-ons, things have been rescheduled for the time being, but in the coming months, hopefully as this blows over, I'm going to jump back into it, and it's just a really fun way to get to interact with everybody and share some readings.
Good. I love it. So excited for that. We're all like chomping at the bit for our first opportunity to go out into public. So to do that at your live tour will be really special. Now, the first question that I have for you, obviously we're all going through our own versions of self-quarantine. So I'm curious to know, how are you approaching the quarantine? How are you keeping your mental wellness at 100? What are you doing? What are some of your best practices you could share with our audience?
You know, I've tried to take up different hobbies like cooking. I've yet to work on underwater basket weaving, but God knows I might get there. I've just been doing everything to try to just keep my mind busy, staring at paint dry. It's been a lot, but it's been
Okay.
an opportunity to recenter.
Absolutely. If you're cooking, as am I, a lot, I want to know, what's your favorite dish so far? Do you have like a Tyler Henry specialty?
I'm a man of simple tastes. I like just pasta, good old carbohydrates. You know, it's
Okay.
really hard to mess up pasta, so I figure.
It's simple, right? I like it. Straight to the point. For those who are watching at home and may be struggling a little bit mentally, I mean, a lot of us are not used to the environments we find ourselves in right now. What would be your recommendations to those struggling a bit with where we are as a global community?
Sure. I think right now more than ever, it's important to try to strive for mindfulness. I think it's so easy to get overwhelmed with the news and the notifications, and I feel like things are changing literally hour by hour. So it's important to be informed, but it's also important to kind of have that balance of knowing when to kind of put the phone down and, you know, spend some time with yourself, as if we need more of that.
Yeah,
But really
absolutely.
be able to kind of recenter and have a practice, meditate, you know, or prayer. Different things work for different people. But just having some practice, some routine among all of the unpredictability, I think is helpful.
Yeah, and to your point about unpredictability, I feel like that's been the hardest thing for a lot of us is we couldn't predict the changes we're going through now, the things we'd have to give up, this new way of living for this short amount of time. I mean, we've all had exciting things over the next few weeks, the next month that I think we were looking forward to. I have, you know, acquaintances who plan to get married and it was postponed, or they're 6 feet apart on their wedding day. It's really unbelievable. So for you, you kicked off your live tour. It's called An Evening of Hope, Healing, and Closure. And then, as you mentioned, you had to postpone some dates. So just to sort of provide us with how you felt, because I feel like we all have our own version of that. How did it make you feel to realize, oh, this thing that I was so excited for has to stop down for a little bit?
Well, you know, I think it's for me, it's a break. It's not a welcomed break, but it's an opportunity again to just kind of focus on recentering to the best of my ability. And I think, you know, as things do go back to normal, which I think they will, I think the world will kind of have a greater appreciation for our routines and the schedules and the things that, you know, to us seem kind of mundane until they're suddenly stripped from us and we don't have the opportunity to do anymore. So hopefully as this evolves and people stay safe, we'll be able to kind of go back and do it with a little bit more gratitude and mindfulness around what we kind of take for granted.
I love that, especially the part about gratitude. I am appreciating the basics, like freshly delivered food that I don't have to like be like, hi, bye to my Postmate for. I'm so used to like talking in the door, and now even that, no one wants to like hang. So gratitude, that's a big one. We have a comment. Someone says, thank you, Tyler. The world needs you and your many gifts. It's so true. I'm curious to know for Instagram Live, do you plan on doing any readings on IG Live ever, or is that yet to be determined?
We will see. I definitely have thought about it before, and I think it'd be a good way to interact. So if I get too bored here in the coming days, I might just keep going out. I'll just whip out the crystal ball, get the long press-on nails.
And keep going. The nails will help you, for sure.
Exactly.
With everyone just kind of hanging out on Instagram during the quarantine, are there any questions that you've been getting a lot of these days? Have you been helping people in any way, or like what's your social experience been during this?
Well, this has been a great opportunity to do Skype readings. Thankfully, you can do them without having to interact physically. So that's been an opportunity to kind of go down a list that I have. I give away free readings on my social media and during live events. And so I am now able to kind of finally catch up on those. So that's the silver lining to.
Okay, wait, hold up. Back up. Everyone on here is dying for a reading from you, myself included. So where do we need to be to enter this contest for these free readings?
Well, I mean, I pick people randomly, but you know what? You're at the top of the list. So I can basically do them through Instagram. People can sign up tylerhenryhollywoodmedium.com if you just put your name in, and a way to get in touch. And it's just a good opportunity to be able to kind of connect. So I'm going to be doing those a lot more continually over the coming days. And I'm really excited. It's been fun.
I love it. All right. And I do want to talk to you a little bit about, obviously, celebrities, right? You are so known for these amazing readings that you give. And we lost a legend earlier this year. Obviously, Kobe Bryant passing away was so tragic and unexpected. I'm curious to know, maybe other people have asked you, has he come through? Because so many celebrities, so many people of note have to you.
Sure. You know, a lot of people have asked that, and to answer that, no, he has not came through. But one of the big kind of catalysts for how people come through is actually through their loved ones who are still here. So if Vanessa were to ever get in touch, that'd be done privately, and I'd be able to kind of sit with her and hopefully relay some semblance of a message. But yeah, it typically kind of works through the loved ones that are left behind. And when I interact with them, that's kind of how the connection is facilitated. But again, it's such a intimate thing. I think some readings have been great for the show, and others I think I would never do publicly. Yeah. And that kind of falls into the category of one that would have to be private, just out of respect for the family and for the nature.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And switching gears a little bit, you get often that you have a celebrity who you look very similar to, a doppelganger, if you will, Mr. Macaulay Culkin.
That's right.
So we have some news right now, American Horror Story Season 10. Macaulay's joining, and you actually had a really hilarious tweet where you like, you could have just had me. Would you ever do it? Would you ever, get into acting? Or
if I have the free time now, I mean, hey.
That was not a no.
I could be the evil twin in the scenario of American Horror Story and just.
Okay, guys, please give us hearts right now if you would love to see Tyler Henry in an upcoming season of American Horror Story.
Tag Ryan Murphy.
Yes, and tag Ryan Murphy. We need that in our lives. Okay. And really quickly, Tyler, before we let you go, just remind us all about the live tour, when it'll kick off again, and what people can expect.
Sure. So I'm going to be continuing that once all of this is over. People can check out tickets on my website, tylerhenryhollywoodmedium.com. And before we go, I just want to share what I kind of feel about the current situation. I think things are going to get better. I think it's imperative now more than ever that people maintain social distancing. I've gotten a lot of tweets and comments about how Sylvia Browne has predicted this in her book, End of Days, which I don't think it's the end of days, so don't worry.
Good, thank you.
She called this in the year 2020 that something would happen along these lines. But she also felt it would kind of disappear out of nowhere. I don't personally feel that. I think this is going to be something that requires, some time and some distancing. And I think it's very important to take this seriously. So I think we're going to have to keep it up. It's going to be a weird next 6 months, but I think we're going to be okay in the long run. And everyone just needs to stay safe. So that's what's most important.
So well said. Amen to that. Tyler, thank you. Thank you for bearing with me figuring out my Instagram
Thank you.
And you guys don't forget to check out Tyler's tour. You can go to, what's the website again?
About tylerhenryhollywoodmedium.com.
There it is. Have a good one.
Have a good weekend.